How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of mystery beer, courtesy of my boy Rick. Sent me off a big box of Detroit-born jammers, and out of the ones that he's from Detroit, or Michigan, I should say, and there's a bunch of Koonin in there, there's a little bit of West Coast, but there's also 3 mystery beers. This will be the second one I'm diving into. The first one was of decent octane. This one looks much the same. Yeah, look at that thing. That looks like barley wine, kinda. So yeah, we're off to a big start in the mystery beers. Yeah, I mean, from a distance, brown ale, barley wine, brown ale, barley wine, and might be barley wine or a Belgian double. But yeah, khaki colored head, rich orange, kind of reddish, brownish kind of mixture hue to it. It's a little bit more vibrant orange because I'm doing it outdoors and you're getting light from every direction. But it looks the part of a high octane beer. That is some legs. So here we go. Let's get a nose. It doesn't smell huge though. Slightly confectionery. I honestly do believe that my sense of smell, my range of my smell has definitely been affected by having COVID. I can smell everything. It's not like I miss smell or it goes away, but I think it peaks and valleys sometimes. I think this is a big beer, but I'm not getting a big nose on it. I want to think like those grandma candies with the caramel on the outside and that white stuff in the middle. I don't even know what the hell that white stuff is. It's kind of had that kind of vibe going with it. So a caramel with a soft confectionery vibe to it, but not like lactose or anything like that. So when you think about like confectionery and caramel, I start to think of barrel, but I don't get a huge barrel presence off of his nose. And so it comes off more of like a barrel-aged barley wine. Revolution kind of vibes. Maybe even, again, the other beer that he sent me. I'm not going to say what beer that was in case I post this one first. Sometimes that happens. But it could be that brewery that I'm thinking of. But yeah, right now off the nose, I'm thinking, because of that confectionery, getting that vanilla, I think it's from barrel. I think we're dealing with a barrel-aged barley wine. Let's just dive in. Cheers. It's gotta be. It absolutely has to be a barrel-aged barley wine. Now, the trick is age. I don't think it's that old, but it has a decent hop presence to it. Not nearly as big as I'd expect an English barley wine to be, but much less than what I would expect a fresher American barley wine. The reason why I say this is coming off kind of fresh is there's this slightly alcohol evaporative kind of like isopropyl kind of blow off thing coming from it. I think that's more of a new beer kind of trait. But the way it kind of gives you these spicy caramel notes. The other beer, this is kind of very similar to that in a certain extent. The other beer, without naming the beer, was a rye barrel-aged stout. Like a barrel-aged stout aged in rye whiskey barrels. This is almost like the barley wine component of that. I actually thought that beer was a mixture of a barley wine and a stout. If I were to take that beer, which I guessed wrong on, I got the ABV wrong, got the style wrong, I pretty much pooped that whole beer. But if I were correct in that mystery beer, and I guessed in the end it was a blend of a stout and a barley wine, this is what I would imagine the barley wine would taste on the other end of things. See, knee-jerk reaction, I want to go, okay, this is very much Revolution, but I know it's not. How? Because it's got a clear silver top to it. It's not black, so it's not Revolution. But it's in that vein of beer. The only reason I'm sticking with the barrel, though, is because of that evaporative alcohol thing, which makes me think it's high in ABV, 13% and change, in combination with that vanilla component I'm getting in here. Because I'm getting vanilla, and it's not added vanilla. It's not like a heavy oat dose, because this beer is high in octane, so I don't think you'd get it there. I think it is vanilla from a barrel. Almost would be like an oak-aged, maybe a non-spirit barrel. barley wine. So an oak aged or second or third use spirit barrel barley wine. I want to call it American. I think I'm going to call it American, even though it's coming off on a scale from like 1 to 100, if 50 being the middle between American barley wine and English barley wine, and 0 being English and the other end being American. It's kind of like 50-50. The only reason why I'm saying American is because I believe it was a lower aggressive hopped American barley wine that was racked into a non-spirit neutral barrel. And that kind of hop presence has burned off a little bit. Or could be a fresh English one, because the hops definitely come off like Kent Golden, Fugly, stuff like that. I don't believe there's any adjuncts in this beer whatsoever. Core 4 plus the barrel. That's it. That's all I got. How wrong am I going to be? The last one I did from him, which I actually did yesterday or the day before. It was the first mystery beer I've done in over a month. So this is the second mystery beer I've done over the past month because, you know, having a baby and things like that. So it's kind of interesting to see where this one lands. I think I'm getting killed by mosquitoes. I'll have to rearrange my fans. Anyway, so let's talk about this beer. This is a 12.8% American barley wine racked into neutral or second or third use barrels. This is about 1 year old. No, 2 years old. Well, 1 year. Because it can't be that old because of that alcohol blow off. There you go. See how wrong I am. These are really fun. Thank you very much, brother. What do we have here? I see a little graphic poking out. And we have... I couldn't guess the brewery on this one, to be honest with you. We have... okay, barrel aged. There we go. This is the Barbaric Yop. A burley Scotch ale. Okay, I'm okay with that. That actually makes a lot of sense. Wet, Black Rocks Brewing. It says here, Marquette, Michigan. It says here, we at Black Rocks Brewery are proud to call Marquette, Michigan home. Our name is inspired by the Black Rocks located just north of town. They talk about that. Okay, this is a rum and bourbon barrel aged blend. Okay. This is our burley Scotch ale aged in rum and bourbon barrels, then blended. An ale that is sure to bring out the YAP in all of us, whatever that is. YAP. Is it a play on WAP? Yup. I don't know what that means. So, you know what? Oddly enough, let me get the ABV on this. What did I say? Did I say 12.8? I think it's a 12.8. I flirted with 13 for a second, but I think I ended up at 12.8. Can we get it? Can we get it? Let's see. It has a year and 4 or 5 months on it. Year and 4 or 5 months on it. So it definitely has time. So I was pretty close on the timing of the beer. I just don't see the ABV, which is kind of a bummer. I'll have to look it up post-review, and hopefully I'm right. There you go. I'm okay with everything I said. Like I said, the previous one I did from Rick, I kind of screwed a pooch on that one. I definitely was not all that close on the beer. I'm okay with that because that's the fun part about mystery beers. You can't always be right. But the this one, I mean, I'll call it American barley wine. I know that's not close to a Scotch ale, but, you know, if you put time on something like an American barley wine, it can definitely bleed into kind of Scotch ale kind of territory. The vanilla portion absolutely was coming from those barrels. I didn't get a big spirit component on these, neither rum nor a bourbon. There was a caramel component that I assume is that just kind of sweet bourbon and rum kind of melding together and kind of burning off some of that alcohol. And maybe this beer needed to be kind of, what do they call that? Decantered a little bit, so it's not as kind of alcohol-y. There's a word for you, a technical term. So I definitely did not even get close on this one, but I didn't get far enough to where I feel too bad about it. But it's a really tasty beer. I like it. I think it is more barley wine than it is Scotch ale, but that could also be the spirit involved, kind of twisting this beer and making it something that it originally was not. But really fun nonetheless. Thank you very much, brother. Very cool. Yeah, I dig it. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. If we kind of boil it down to its parts, all its parts, it's probably by far and away one of the better Scotch ales I've had as of late. I think Scotch ales are kind of, even though it's not in my brains more Scotch ale, it's more barley wine, but, you know, Scotch ales are pretty, not rare, but not a ton of people do them. When they do them, they tend to lean in a specific direction. And this one's a little bit more richer, a little bit more bolder, something kind of up my alley. So I kind of like this, especially from a brewery I've never had before. I have no idea the value and availability of this beer. You're going to have to, Rick, come out and let us know it's what one that comes to this beer and leave you with if you like what we like this. If you like barrel-aged Scotch ales, cheers all like stuck on something. Barrel-aged Scotch ales, barrel-aged beers, English barley wines, American barley wines that are old, and just malt-forward beers in general. You like this. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing the podcasting stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of barrel-aged jam right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.